Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at this lovely PMDG 777-300ER. And this one's super exciting because this is going to be the first time I've flown it. Not only the first time I've flown it, but I'm not going to lie to you, this is the first time I've even loaded it. So we're going to see how that's going to go as soon as I get some of my bells and whistles and buttons going on. So the 777 has a very special place in my heart as far as payware airplanes goes. The reason being is because this was actually the first payware airliner I ever bought back in the old days. And one of the things that always fascinated me about it, of course, crew rest. The door doesn't work. There's actually, you can go upstairs in this airplane, and I can... they did model it, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And of course, our goal today is to take a look at just how wonderful of a job these folks did it. At least I'm hoping. And you can see this is actually the jetway block of my view there, but I actually can go back here, and it is just staggeringly awesome to see like all of these little details. Does this work? Oh, that'd be so fun. You could push those buttons, and there's the rest of us. Take a look at this thing. Oh, yes. Now, that is a cabin, my friends. That is a cabin. And apparently a lot of that boots up and stuff like that. So I'm very, very excited. Of course, I haven't read the manual, so it's kind of beyond memory here of for what things do what and kind of all the different problems we're going to have. But like I said, it's their first response, and this is what I'm interested in. The 777, of course, when you think about aircraft for a second here, this one is... fancy. It's really, really fancy. It's a Boeing fly-by-wire aircraft. When people think fly-by-wire, they think of the Airbus with the joystick. We don't get that here. We have a yoke, and it's a pretty nice, good old school yoke. But keep in mind, this yoke is not connected to anything. It basically tells it what to do. I love the little bit. Really? Yes. Okay, this airplane is complete, everyone. You can go home. Nope, but let's go ahead and get this thing started. So, wow, I have to, settle and get my brain on here. So let's start from cold and dark here. So if this is anything like the 7.3, which I'm sure it is, if I go to PMDG, a panel state load, I could probably set this to cold and dark. Yeah, I can. So I'll do that in a minute. But the first thing I want to do is get the aircraft all set up the way I like it, So let's see here. LNAV go around. That looks pretty good to me. Page 2 looks pretty good to me. Cruise. That looks good to me. Looks good to me. I like that. I don't want to change that analog. You can actually make it a digital one. Oh, what do we have here? No electronics. I like that. Let's see here. Fuel equipment. I'm not going to do anything like that. Flight test package. Nah, I'm not going to do any of those things. You can actually enable this, and you get all these fun things in here. Not going to do that. A Wi-Fi. Of course, I'm going to install that one. Ooh, we have a couple different bands. There we go. 2Q is the one I want. Tailskid, V1 call out, bank angle, bank angle, bank angle. I'm not going to worry about that. Call 60, 50, 30, 25, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, crash. Fun. All right, let's see here. We have the different disconnect modes. A whaler's kind of the old school. I actually don't like 2 presses. I'm going to do single, 1 press. There we go. That makes it a little easier for me. Altitude approach. I'm not going to worry about that. Crew alertness monitor. This is a pain in the ass. I'm so glad that's off. So we're not going to worry about that. Company cost index. No, my company cost index is a little higher than that because I'm not paying for gas. Let's see here. Deny, capture glide slope before localizer, and we're going to take a deny on that. That's fine. Let's see. Page 12. We've gone around. We're beautiful. Let's go to displays. Pounds, please. Split axis. I love split axis. Ground speed. FPV. I don't like that very much. Round alt dial. I don't like that very much. Track up. Yes, that's correct. TCAS ring. I don't do that. Minimum runway length. Show all traffic filter. I'm not going to worry about that too much. There's a lot of videos to be made with these things. Looks good to me. Cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at failures. We shouldn't have any failures here. And again, there's a million failures. This is a study plane. This is not a whatever. So that looks pretty good to me. Return to setup. I believe we can go to aircraft here. Let's see. Return to setup. That looks pretty good to me. I'm not going to mess with these things here. What are options? These might be like simulation options. Let's see here. Localizer looks good. Thrust lever position. I actually like this. This is something we got from the 7.3, so I actually kind of like that. Let's see here. Manual override, flare mode, realistic display units power up. I actually like that. Say fluids, nope, nope. I don't want any of those things. Let's see here. PNF, auto time compression. Captain only, that works fine for me. Simple parking brake. I like simple is easier for me. It depends on your kind of hardware, of course. All right, let's go to return performance. I don't really need to worry about these. I've got a pretty good computer. I'm not going to change any of those things. That looks pretty good to me. There's something in here about GPS, I'm sure. So I did not see it. So that makes me a little nervous because that means it's going to take a lifetime to boot up the GPS. But hey, it is what it is. Cool. So I'm happy with all that. So lastly but not leastly, let's go ahead and throw this aircraft to cold and dark and see if we can figure out how to get this thing going. I see we have a little bit of stuff as it turns off. Cool. This is so exciting. All right, what can I do from memory? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, ADIRU, we're going to need that later. Oh, I did it again. Let's go scoot up here. We got a battery switch. We're going to pop that one on. You're going to get a couple warnings. We're going to flip the APU to the on. It's a press and hold. First thing I forgot already. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi 3, let go. And now we're going to let that go. And what it's going to do is it's going to start kind of booting some of that up. We're going to get the ADIRU booted up right away. This thing takes half a lifetime to get going. I love the fact that they did that detail with a little like window gets out of the way when you click on it. They did that correctly. I love it. So arm up the emergency lights. Pop that on there like that. Window heat. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. All right. Auto smoking. Auto. Looks good to me. Check. Nice. All right. Let's go to the cargo fire. Sorry about my head being so jerky here, but it just does that. All right. Normal. Auto start is on. We're not going to enable that yet. Fuel jettison. Leave that alone. Fuel pump. We should be running this one right now, but I'm going to ignore it. Nav light is on. That's fine for me. Equipment cooling, let's go over here. Gasper, auto trim, but the pack is setting good. We're going to leave the packs on. Bleed air is on. We're going to be getting APU pressure in a second here, so we can actually utilize that to kind of get us a little bit more comfortable inside the cabin here. But I'm not stressing about that too much. Not going to have anything as far as displays goes. It's going to take a while on this aircraft before we have any electrical power that we can actually utilize. One thing, of course, we have to think about is that we have our good old-fashioned in-flight entertainment and passenger seats. In the old days, which you actually had was a bus bar for this, and I don't see the bus bar. It's probably right above my head. Yeah, there'd actually be a switch you'd have to pull in or out to basically turn it in-flight entertainment and all that good stuff. So I'm going to let that kind of boot up and do its thing there. We have the on switch, which means the APU has finished booting up here, which is kind of nice. We also have external power, which we could pop on at any point to kind of help us out a little bit. But I'm not complaining. Like I said, first time starting this thing, so I'm not sure what everything is. So we're going to kind of keep playing with the buttons, see kind of what happens as we go. Love how the system, get the old school radio all booted up. There it goes. You can see these displays are just starting to warm up here. So I think this is pretty good. I don't need to change any of this. Return to menu, FS actions, fuel. Oh my gosh, we're super short range here. We're going to be taking a very short. What? I don't need that much fuel. That's absurd quantities of fuel right there. I do not need that much. Let's see here. Let's do like 25,000. I think it's going to be fine. Boop. That's a little light. That's 10% of our max fuel here. I wonder if I can just type in 10%. Hey, look at that. I could do 10%. Fantastic. Return. Payload. We want to be fairly heavy here. The reason we want to be fairly heavy here is because it's going to make it a little bit easier for us to kind of go, if that makes sense. Looks pretty good to me. I'm not going to stress about that. Ground connections. Nothing should be connected right now. Looks pretty good to me. Jetway, we're coming in that side. I'm not, like I said, worried about that. Ground service vehicles? Oh man, there are so many things in here I've got to fiddle with. Turn type, ground operations. We're not going to ask for any of that. Auto cruise. It's a really fun button, by the way. Refill, IDG drives. I shouldn't have to change any of those. Service brakes are fine. Yeah, I'm not going to play with that stuff. Cabin lighting, I'm not going to mess with that. That's perfectly fine. So this looks pretty good. Time to start getting this thing all booted up and ready to go. Initial position, initial ref. We'll grab the GPS position. Look at that. Good to go. Looks good. Everything looks groovy there. Again, this is all from memory, so the probability of missing something is pretty darn high. Trust me on that one. We'll do Bradley International Airport. We're going to pop that over there. We're going to go down to my go-to. When it's the first time I ever tried a new airplane, generally I take this one for a nice short hop. This is a very, very short hop, by the way. We're going to be doing runway 6 today. Actually, we'll do 3-3 today. Hey, guess who just booted up? All right, it's runway 3-3 today. I was wondering when that was going to kick on. Does that mean we finally go ahead and get the APU bleed air? It's coming. It's going to take a minute. Oh, all these things are booting up. Apparently, there's a very complex electrical system on here. So when you order this thing up, it will take a moment to get kind of all booted and ready to go. So this does not surprise me. And we're going to get a lot of angry ant messages. I heard you. I know you're mad. Relax. And we're going to do this via Norwich today, ORW. And we're going to go ahead and activate. We're going to execute that departure arrival. We're going to do departure today is 3-3. Our arrival, we push it again. We go to arrival for PVD. It's going to be ILS for runway 5 today. That sounds good to me. Actually, Lafay is an easier transition. Let's go to legs, Lafay, direct, execute. Looks groovy. Go back to my route. Looks good. All right, next page, check. And you're probably saying, man, you do this fast. I really don't. All right, performance data request. All right, that's going to send it off to the computer. If I've learned anything about PMDG, though, there's probably a thing over here that does this all for me. So I'll come back to this in a second. I'll just wait until it gets me. It'll say, ready to load data, ? And then you press the enter key, and it loads it up for you, and you're pretty much ready to go. Haha, would you look at that? Except, sounds good to me. Cruise altitude, that's not high enough for us. Let's go up to 11,000. Notice it saved my cost index, which I love. And, of course, my gross weight, my zero fuel weight. We're going to have to get all that data. All right, import. Boop. We're taking... Landing dispatch. Is it like a different thing? I have to actually dial it in. So if I do KBDL like that, I take runway 33, which is where we're going to take off. Oh, that looks good to me. Import. Can I just import from aircraft? I can. Cool. Center of gravity's good. Import weather. Nice. That's actually pretty cool. All right, so what did that do for us? That's kind of the details. This stuff looks good. We have none of the actual calculations here. We're flaps 5 today. So 102.8 power, 37 is my select temp. Good to know. Good to know. All right, let's come over here. Does this still work the same way? Uh-oh. Yeah, it does. Good, good, good. Thrust limit, we're going to do takeoff today. They told us, what did they give us? They told us 37 degrees, I think. Yeah, 37. 37 degrees. We're going to go toss that into here. Sounds good to me. 37 degrees takeoff power, 100%. Sounds good to me. Flaps, the computer said to use 5. The center of gravity said 30.53. So I think you can just click this twice if I recall. Yeah, there we go. Trim is going to be 4. Reference speeds are dialed in. V2 is 168. Let's scoot up here. Oh, yeah, there we go. 168. That sounds pretty good to me. That sounds pretty good. Check, check, check. Click. We're doing 11,000 today, so we'll pop up to 1,000. Looks good to me. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, this is so cool. You have no idea. I'm a kid in a candy store right here. All right, pre-flight's done on that, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Route. Looks delightful. So that's good to go. That's good to go. That's good to go. That's good to go. I think we're good to start this thing. And like I was saying, this is all off of memory from flying the 777 a lot, as well as the original 777. I forget who made it for X-Plane, but that was ages ago. Now, I should just be able to go like this and like request it, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. This looks pretty good to me. And you can see here, 6837 feet. We're going to use quite a bit of that, which is bothersome, if you ask me. I'm not going to worry about it too much, though. It's all good. Cool. Let's get it started. So if I recall correctly, let's go take a look at all our angry warnings here. Electric is off, brake source is off, window heat, fuel pressure, engines, APU auto, doors auto. Good, that means everything's locked up. Super. Okay, so if I recall correctly, I don't think we have any fuel in the middle, if I had to guess. Now on a 7.7, I think there's a fuel page. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, we have nothing in the middle. I didn't think so. Didn't think so. Let's go ahead and switch to engine display, and we got that nice and good to go. Now, we have an automatic start on this, which is awesome. It actually, like, works legit, so I actually kind of like that. This is good. This is good. My bacon light is on. My IPU is... yeah, it's on automatic, so it's all good. These don't need to be shut off. They shut themselves off automatically on this version of this airplane, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong on that. Could be wrong on that. So, let's find out. All right, we're going to pop those both on. Nothing happens. Nice. Notice how it basically... Ah, it's not a happy sound. I've never heard that one before. Interesting. Is that going to go off? Stabilizer, stabilizer. That's new. Never experienced that sound before. New. Sorry about that. Check non-normal. Okay, so my guess is something to do with hydraulics, if I had to guess. Good, pop all those on. I really shouldn't be running air, though, because air is not a safe hydraulic to be running when you're starting this thing. So let's go take a look here. Checklist not normal. IFE, window heat, APU running. All right, let's try that again. Okay, that's better. All right, let's start. Okay, notice the pressure shut down. Getting oil pressure. We're getting positive N2 there. So I think what happened is there wasn't enough air pressure to actually kick on the engine. So I'm sorry, the stabilizer wasn't in the position that it was set because there was no hydraulic pressure going through it. Let's go watch this again. Brand new to this airplane. The engines on this thing are stupid huge. Let's see if we got a good light off. Fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, vibration, EGT. We are at 35%. Fuel flow just turned on right now. We're at 1.5 fuel flow, but we have, no, there it goes. We got a light off. Oh, yeah, look at it go. Look at it go. I'm sorry. I'm very excited for this plane. Yeah, that's a good light off on number 2. Nice. Oh, we got a thing. Remember, no manual. All right, that looks pretty good to me. All right, number 1 is started up. Man, does this thing boot up fast. It's a fast engine. That's a really fast engine. I am thoroughly impressed with how quick that thing starts up there. All right, number 2 is looking pretty good, which is the correct operational pattern. Let's go ahead and fire up number 1 here. Everybody's sitting there going, you can't start this plane like that. What are you doing? Works fine. Definitely going to have some fun videos on this for next week. Definitely. I have all sorts of detailed stuff on like how to do this correctly and safely and all that other good things. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy myself because this thing, I literally finished downloading it about 5 minutes before I started up this video, just to give you an idea of kind of what's going on with it. All right, 30.8, 31. You going to give me some fuel flow here? Man, this thing rev high. It's such a big engine. We're going to get, yep, there goes the initial fuel, and then the second fuel is going to come in. We should be getting light off any second now. I can hear it. And that's a light off. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that engine. Why are you standing there, ma'am? Ma'am. Oh well. All right, let's see here. We got some warnings here. Kind of typical stuff. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Except... window heat is not enabled. I have 2 engines that are running happily, so we are good to go for that. All right, let's do it. Let's go ahead and kick all those off. The pack should be coming on in a few seconds, which they did. We don't need the bleed air on my APU right now. As a matter of fact, I could cut my APU off, but this one, like, I think it's all pretty much automatic on this system. This is not like the 7.7 where everything's kind of there. Like, this one is very much, everything's very, very well automated here. Go ahead and cycle the 2 packs. Go ahead now. We have auto start. It's good. We can actually pop off auto start, and what that should do is get everything kind of moving along here. Let's see here. Pop all those off. Pop all those on. I'm just going to kind of take a look and see what we're doing here. Probably have a low pressure, but again, it's all stuff I can find out. Engine auto start is off. It's yelling at me. And of course, we have checklist not normal. It's basically telling me, what are you doing? Let's see if I can figure that one out, actually. Go to the checklist page here. Let's see here. Looks good. Non-normal. Checklist reset, checklist override. There we go. Checklist reset. Hey, we did it. Nice. Back to normal. We forgot to check oxygen and stuff like that. That's my bad. Let's see here. Hey, it works. Nice. All right, so we managed to get this thing going, which is pretty impressive, seeing as it still has the chocks in place. But we've got to get this thing backed up and all that other stuff. So let's keep going. We're doing okay so far. I've only made, 500 mistakes and made all the real folks actually twitch at this one. But like I said, I should be able to intuit my way through this, kind of a thing like that. Let's see here. Performance. This is actually an aircraft situation. No, this is not an aircraft situation. This is a flight simulator action. Let's do ground connections. We want to remove the chocks. That looks pretty good to me. Let's just go take a look real quickly there. Kick the chocks out. Now, theoretically, I should be able to call for somebody to come pick us up, kind of a thing like that. I could theoretically ground handle this too, but I'm going to be naughty. Beep, beep, beep. Up, 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 up. That is not proper procedure. Oh, these things are so cool to play with. All right, let's get taxiing now. It's not like I requested permission or anything, like normal or anything. Where's my hugs? Oh, I have a visor. That's nice. Kind of cool. Figure out how to get that visor out of my view there. I'm actually surprised it doesn't have an HGS on here. It might be one of those things where I have to go find the option for it. But for now, I'm not worried about it too much. Let's get taxiing. We have some journeying to do, so I intend to do some journeying. Let's see here. Cancel, recall. Got nothing on the recall somehow. Let's see here. Alternate arm looks pretty good to me. LNAV, VNAV. You can put those on. Nothing's going to happen. Climb control, flight directors on, 11,000. We can turn that on. Not that it matters. That's all been set. Theoretically, I could be turning on the weather radar and all that other stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Like I said, they got the terrain radar again. This is just my first initial impressions here. Easily amused, sorry. I'm going to have to adjust the default head position in the game here. This is something I will do later. Of course, beautiful day, no nasty wind or anything like that. Makes it a little bit safer. I love the fact that I don't have to run at idle at all. I can just go. One thing I did hear when I was poking around on Yield Reddits there is they were commenting that the auto thrust thing is a little awkward, so I'm probably going to have to quickly run to my settings and check that. There we go. Left foot here. There we are. Very, very nice. Yeah, I don't like the default position. It's kind of... I get what they're doing, but it's not good for me, especially if you do this in VR and now everything's kind of tilted to the side, kind of a thing like that. All right, let's get this thing onto this runway. This is a D-rated takeoff today. Whoa! Forgot that we're at 777 and not a 77 today. There we go. play the little get myself lined up game. There we are. And full brakes. Let's go ahead and tap that real quickly. Go ahead and hit the brakes there, and now we've got a checklist incomplete norm. Oh, that's so cool that it does that. Let's see here. Check. It's the normal one that's yelling at me. On normal. Resets. Reset normal. Reset all. Is that something I can do? Nope. It's still going to yell at me that says I haven't done something here. Normal menu before takeoff. Is it something I have to sit in here? It looks good. Looks good. Normal. Oh, yeah, the alarm went off. That's cool. That's new. I'm not used to that, as you could probably have noticed there. All right, let's get this show in a row here. One of the things I do want to check before I do get airborne here is I just want to double check to make sure that I've actually bound the button to the button that I think that I bound the button to. So I'm going to go search real fast. That's definitely not the right one. Let's see here. Toggle afterburner. I kind of like that. No, that's definitely not it. You have to excuse. Forward. Got it. So I do have a button for that. I had a feeling. Okay, ready for takeoff? Let's do it. So we're supposed to boot up to 50% power. Oh my gosh, listen to that sound. Huh. That was new. Apparently, I never set the parking brake correctly. Part of the fun, folks. Part of the fun. Oh, now it tells me that the cabin is ready. Woo! This thing's got some weight. Wow. Now, I find it very interesting that the exhaust gas temperature is that massively into the red there. I'm just hearing it start to cycle down now. Interesting. I'm sure I made several tactical mistakes there. There we go. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. Definitely some things I'm going to have to do some research on. Well, like I said, this is the first impressions, and my impressions are good so far. Nice, high quality. It's a very, very easy to fly this plane, by the way, for those of you who've not flown it. The big thing with it is the fly-by-wire works absolutely spectacular. It's really, really easy to control. Like, I almost find this thing to be less work than like a 7.3. Obviously, there's some procedural things we got to look into to kind of understand, like, why did I overheat my engines during takeoff and all that other good stuff. But, well, again, all stuff that I can go ahead and figure out later on. I'm not too worried about it yet. I do like the fact that it yells at you if you don't do your checklist properly, which clearly I did not, but that's not what I was doing. I just wanted to see what this thing was like to give people a pretty good idea of what you're getting yourself into when you go ahead and test this thing. And I will say you get yourself into a ton so far, which is, like I said, kind of cool. Kind of cool. I like the fact that it borders that in red just to remind you that you done goofed, and now that needs to be reset. So the good maintenance folks will have to reset that for me later on. Oh, well, nothing I'm worried about too much, though. Performance is pretty good. Sound is, one of the things you got to remember with this plane is you sit really, really, really far ahead of where the engines are. So if you're wondering why you're getting so much wind noise, it all comes down to the fact that this is the only thing you hear up front. This is a puzzle now. I got to figure out how to disable that. Hey, you are the one in auto control. I'm just saying. That wasn't me who did that. I didn't push the throttle too far forward. It did that itself. All right, speaking of that, let's go ahead and engage the automatic pilot. So we're doing that simplified autopilot. I'm kind of curious about this real quick here. See if the terrain pops up here. It might take a second to boot up. Let's see here. Terrain radar, terrain radar. Here it is. Let's see here. Mapping would be the mode to use, of course, and we can also probably tip the tilt down a little bit. That's, oh, we have two. We have the left one and the right one. And what do? I jam it down like obnoxiously low amounts. We'll do 5 degrees down. That should be pretty good. And yeah, it's working. You can see we're getting stuff up on the terrain radar here, so that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. So that's working okay. I like that. I like that a lot. We got some tall stuff that way, which I believe around here, I think it's like 1,700 feet or something like that. It's not very tall, so I'm not worried about it too much. So we're up plenty. And we're leveling off and preparing for our cruise. Like I said, it's going to be a pretty quick cruise here. All right, so that's good to me. That's good to me. I'm not going to change any of that. I'm going to leave that alone. We have data now in the center one. I think that's so cool. Let's see if we can tilt the radar back up. Can we still see things here? Yeah, we can still see. So not bad. Not bad at all. I can go pop that off real quickly there. Looks good. Let's go ahead and change our zoom just a little bit. And you can see, like I said, it's a very short trip. It's just a good trip. It'll basically allow us the experience of doing a little bit of cruising. You can see I already have to descend like in 5 seconds. It's Providence. It's not exactly a long flight away. So one of the things I should be able to do here is basically set this down to 2,500 feet. There we go. Looks pretty good to me. And then I believe on the CDU on this one. Oh, yeah, see all the ground maintenance stuff is unavailable. I like that. See, I like that. I like that. So you can't go back and like hack because I overheated my engine during takeoff there. I like that. I like that. Let's see here. FMC. I'm having a moment here. Takeoff speed's deleted. Okay, I'm not worried about it. But what I do want to do here is I do want to take a look at my nav radars. 109.30 sounds correct. Not going to worry about that too much. I think you can just come in here. I don't think it matters, but yeah, had a feeling it wasn't going to let me do that. Cool. So 109.30 is already selected. 47. I love how it's automatic. That's so cool on this airplane. There's your chopper descent, basically right there. Like I said, very, very, very short flight. And theoretically, if I open up the progress page here, it should be able to give me a pretty good estimate of what time we're going to be back on the ground there. 12 minutes before we're back on the ground. So I'm not going to bore you with the details of cruise here. Well, we'll take a look at the top of descent, which is coming in just a moment here. And this is so low for this plane. This feels just wrong in so many ways. All right, so let's go ahead and get everything calculated for our landing here. We're going to do initial ref. We're going to do index. We're going to do approach. Like I said, Boeing, they're fairly similar here. We're going to start decelerating in a moment, which we are. Fantastic. All right, we're going to use flaps 30 here. We're going to add an extra, whoops, it's not going to work, /154. We're going to pop that in right there. Nice, look at that, 154 flaps 30 today. We're going to do a full Category 3 approach. The reason why is we want to see what this thing is like on approach. We'll stick it on the ground. I'm sure it's going to be the bumpiest landing you've ever seen in this airplane. But, you know, got what you got, kind of a thing like that. Now, in the old versions, you have like these little arrows. So, like, when you pull this, okay. So if I pull it a little bit, I can put it into the arm position. Okay, so you can click on it to arm it. Oh, I like that. I like that. All right, so we're going to do auto brake 3, which is going to be plenty. That's like 5 feet per second. So I forget what it is. All right, that's good. That's good. My two engines are running at different temperatures now. Normal. That looks good. That looks good. Oh, that looks good. I'm liking that. Good time to play with some of the pages here and see some of the other options we have. I like how we're just gently descending here. All right, what do we got? We got electrical. Let's see what we got going here. Main battery, volts, amps. Not much, actually. Yeah, the APU shouldn't be doing anything right now. Transfer backup generator. We're running on 2 separate buses. You can see they're not combined. Bus tie is disabled. Sounds good to me. Let's go to hydraulic. Everything's running pretty smoothly, actually. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. Oh, we shouldn't have much fuel in here. Like I said, 26,000. It's plenty. Air. It's warm enough. Actually, it's a little warm in here. I should probably set this to like 22 or something like that. 24 is a bit much. I like how this is in Celsius and everything else is in Fahrenheit. Drag required. Okay. You got it. Apparently, you never use full speed brakes. Somebody was saying that. And I was just like, okay. I don't not believe you. All right, let's see here. Forward trim looks good. The engines are good. Engine anti-ice is off. All right, we'll go ahead and take a look at our doors. They should be closed, which they are. Go open up the gear. There shouldn't be any brake heat. We barely used any of them at all. Tire pressure, you got a couple pressures a little bit low, but everything's within what it's supposed to be. Flight controls, there really shouldn't be anything to see here. Flight control, yep, we're in normal. Let's see here, looks good. Oh, we have no cameras. Lame. We have our checklist. We have our communications page. Actually, this is pretty cool because you can go to your company stuff, but ATC, you got all your ACARs and stuff in here. It's actually pretty cool. Departure clearance requested. It's just so cool how you can do all your ACARs things in here. You can send a message and they'll take care of that for you. Stuff we don't have access to, unfortunately, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. But it is pretty cool that that's its own page here. Stat should just give me sort of generic stuff here, and yeah, looks pretty generic. I'm not worried about it. And then if I go to engine display, it should just sort of let us know what the engines are doing. And obviously we got them a little hot, so we have to deal with that when we get closer. All right, so our initial point there is going to be right there. One feature I love about these airplanes is if you speed up time, like I just did right there, one of the things you'll observe is it actually changes the color. Cabin ready. Look at that. Air brake 3, speed brake armed, Ret Lefay. We're going to have to lose a lot of altitude really, really fast. What is the button for it on this one? I got to remember what it is. That's okay, though. I'm not too worried about it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flight level change here because it is obvious to me that it is not descending fast enough. Because we're supposed to be at 2,100 feet at that point. Because if you look out the window here, and I mean like literally where I need to be on the ground is right there. I'll have to look into why there was a limitation for 10,000 feet there. That's a little strange. We'll be okay. Like we have 5 miles to lose 5,000 feet, so we'll be okay. But of course, this massive, massive airplane here. The speed brakes are completely out. The passengers screaming. You can see there's our destination right there. That was a little weird. I'm actually a little surprised about that. Confused as to why it gave us 10 to, didn't let us cross that point. There must have been something at Lefay I missed. No big deal. Like I said, this is a first impressions flight. There's a 7,500. Looks pretty good to me. Actually, we're pretty good. We could probably kill the speed brakes any point here and switch over to approach, but we'll be fine. I know people are like, you shut off VNAV. Are you crazy? It's like shutting off Luke's targeting computer. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. There we go. That's a little better. Right about cutesy. Yeah. We're barely going to be able to pull this off. And again, we're a gigantic airplane, tons of energy. We could increase this a little bit to help slow us down a bit, but I'm not worried about it too much. Of course, you're like, what do you mean slow us down a bit? Get us lower is really what I'm saying there. Use the drag of the plane, basically. All right, QT is going to be 1,800 feet. We are fast, and we are high, and I've damaged the engines, and I don't know what I'm doing. Good times, good times. I love stuff like this. Got my window there. It's looking pretty good, Nice little detail here. Looking pretty good. Yeah, we're going to be okay. That looks good. We'll actually be getting a glide slope information in a moment. It's actually pretty cool. It's good. There, yeah, you can see how high we are. Just keep dropping. And if we pull this off, I will be very impressed. We have 11 nautical miles to go, and we have 3,700. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Like, no problem, fine. Problem is, we're going to have to slow down to, what did we say, 130, 154, I think? 154, yeah. We're going to have to slow down to 154. That's going to be tough. So when the nose comes... up in a second, we got to slow down massively. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this off. We might have to use some cheating. And a bit of a crosswind there. We are speed loc alt. We are not glide slope. Come on. I know. Oh, neat. They separate. Oh, that's neat. The autopilot is actually fighting me right now. This is cool. Neat. Remember a minute ago I said that it was going to be foolish to try something like this, and here I am trying something like this. Just let's see. Goes to show you. And this is where the head position gets really frustrating, is I need just a little bit of visibility here. Oh man, this thing is this is like flying a bus.
1,000.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, listen to the spool up time on those engines. It's incredible. Slow. Very slow. No, that was good right there. So if you look at the glide slope indicator, you'll probably concur with me that the glide slope is not accurate.
200.
We're so high up.
100.
Wait for 50.
50. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Oh, yes! Nose down. Nice. Nice! Not bad, not bad. I'm definitely not going to win any awards from the 777 Pilot Association or anything along those lines, but it was still not terrible. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. Oh, what a learning experience this airplane is. All right, so the purpose of this video, of course, was to let you see what you're getting. Should this be something that you're interested in, saying, hey, this is something for me. So I'll throw out a couple different things. First of all, it's a handful. It is more complicated than I remember, if that makes sense to anybody who's keeping score, so to speak, here. I think a lot of little things surprised me here. I feel like I need to dive into the settings a little bit deeper and kind of get a feel for some of the different control options that you have on here. I definitely made about 1,000 mistakes, which, remember, this is completely from memory. I have no checklist in front of me, even though it obviously has one built in. Probably should have used that, but again, I didn't want a 6-hour video here. I wanted, 40 minutes kind of a thing like that. A lot of neat things. It is definitely modeled well. The performance is pretty good. The sounds, I'm sure, a little better. Again, I don't have a 777, so I don't know exactly what these things sounds like. So I imagine that what my impression of what it would sound like is probably different than what it actually sounds like. So I trust the professionals, so to speak. Control was good. Very heavy. Definitely a little unexpected there. I remember this thing being a little more sensitive, but then again, we were still relatively heavy when we landed too. So that probably had a big impact on it. Systems modeling, if you're familiar with the 7.3, you're not going to have any issues in the universe as far as getting this thing all set up. There wasn't a lot of mystery in that regard here. Like I said, pretty simple as far as that goes. There wasn't, just trying to think of some other things for people who might be on the fence saying, is this something that I'd be interested in? I guess the question people are going to ask me for is, what is this plane for? And like I said, we'll get into some better details of this when we do a proper series on it, by the way. One of the things, what do people use this plane for? And the reason I bring that up, and the reason, I did it again. There it goes. The reason I bring this up is this is a very, very long-range airplane. If I want to go thousands and thousands of miles, 5, 6, 7, up 10,000 miles with this thing, although I don't think that we have a range quite that good. I just looked it up, 8,000 nautical mile range. That's what I'm saying. This is an extremely long range airplane, extremely long. So the reason I point that out, and the reason that's going to be very, very important here, is I like how okay, I set the parking brake correctly that time. It's just a little goofy how that works sometimes. I'm just waiting for the autopilot to pop on. Autopilot. This is a long-range plane. This is the thing that you get into, and you go from Texas all the way to the middle of Germany. That's the kind of flight you fly. You're probably going to be flying for virtual airliners. Folks who do the 7.3, you're probably good, unless you need something that has an unbelievably longer range. Like I said, I cannot emphasize that enough when I say that this thing is special as far as its extreme amount of range. This thing has places to be. It's going to be going very, very long distances. Look how hot the brakes got. They're 1,000 degrees each. Isn't that amazing? It definitely takes, it's just different. It's just different. Something you have to kind of be mindful of. So one thing that I do want to see, and we'll end the video on this. Let me go shut these two off. Everything's going to cut off in a second, but we've got batteries, so it's not going to be that big a deal. One thing I do want to see, though, is I want to come over here real fast. Ground operations, set shocks, and I'm just going to request some stuff here. Let's go ahead, dual jetway plugs. It's fine with me. Ground vehicle services, I'm going to request all. Door management, open all. Automated ground ops, turn time, I'm not going to worry about any of these things. Planned fuel, I'm not going to worry about that. Ground maintenance, I should probably replace my little whoopsies there. But what I want to see here is just how goofy this airplane looks. And now you can see all this stuff that's going to be hanging off this airplane. And then in a few seconds, of course, the luggage cart's going to come running over here. And then like the other pieces, like I said, it's just the coolest little things. Like how you have to disarm the doors here. Now I can open our. That's so cool. There we go. I've disarmed them properly. So now the doors will actually open, which is super handy because now I can go bring in all the luggage vehicles and stuff like that. And can I just request all? There he goes. Wait. Isn't that awesome? So PMDG has done it again. They did a really nice job with this airplane. It was a pleasure to fly. Obviously, I was not going there to be perfect. That was not my point of this video. I just wanted to show you what you could do with it. I also appreciate the fact these two doors are here, even though I'm plugged in. I'm going to ignore that. It's incredible. And I have a lot more to explore with it. And there's a lot more options that I want to go diving in and playing around and clicking buttons and practicing. And I could see myself spending a very, very long time with videos on this one just because there's so much to this airplane. And I don't know. It's kind of cool. So hopefully you folks enjoyed this. We'll see you again.